Once you download it from SDS2's website, you will then install this into your correct data directory. Install is finished, then we can launch modeling. This will be in your component add list as a deck support, and there will be 4 options for your points to break at. You can have your breaks at a beam and joist members, points. You can do both, so you can manually pick your points and beam and joist, or we'll do none. For this example, we'll pick none, but we'll go through all the options. There's a graphical checkbox. There will be a chart that fills out if you do have points selected, but we do not have any breaks in this selection, so we're going to skip that. We then have our section sizes, which are angle, wide flange, channel, and HSS-TS. We have our toe direction, material grade, and the material long leg, the side direction if you had a different section size. Backs, you have your setback from the break points, so there's nothing for this. You have your minimum support length, you have your offset from center line, that will be up or down from your center line. For the angle and channel, that will be from the heel, and for your HSS-TS and your wide flange, that will be from the center line. We also have round down to the nearest and all of your weld options. Now that that's added in there, you can see that this is along the material length. This is not along the work points, but your material length. And if I add in 1¼ inch, you can see that it was to the heel of that angle. These are going to be shop welded, so if you did want to break those apart, you would have to manually break that. The second option is to break at the beam and joist. If I were to select bracing or columns, it won't select them, just the beam and joist. I can make a box around the beam and joist, or I can just hit my shift key to select them as well. You can now see that the chart has filled up above. I can add in a new row, which would also be adding a point. The angle field will be read only. And if I want to delete a row, I would want to right click and delete row. I wouldn't want to do erase table because that would erase everything. Now we do have the setbacks from the left setback for my break points. And we do have options now for add left end support material and add right end support material. Those would be from the breaks. Like I stated, it was at 4 inches. I have construction lines there, and you do see that it doesn't quite go to the 4 inches on the left-hand side of that construction line. That would be for the round down to the nearest option. Another option would be for the add end left support. So that would be from the break point, and then I could also do it for the right end, so it takes away anything from those break points. The third option that we're going to do is to break at the beams, and I'm going to add in a manual point as well. So if I select both, and then I select both of my beams, and then I also want to select another break point at the 12'6", which would be at the midpoint. So you can see that now I have a 12'6" in there as well, and my angles have filled out because I have sloping members, or skewed members, sorry. I do still have my setback at 4 inches, and my offset from center line, let's just say we want that centered now. You can see it looks like it's a little bit more than 4 inches for those skewed members. That would be where the material would be intersecting at that beam. So it's not exactly at the work point, but where that material would overlap. couple more examples. I can add this as a web normal situation. So let's just say I want to go ahead and include those 2 beams for my breakpoints. And maybe I want to add in, for my section size, I'm going to change this to a W6x9. And then the final example would be, I can also add these on sloping members too. For this one, I'll just say that none, I don't want any breakpoints, and I'll change my offset back. Along with this component, we have done template work for this, so I'll just go ahead and show the detail for this. We do have the dimensions in there with the weld call out, and if I wanted to add in a top view, I could just manually add that in. The final thing to cover is that these do have setup options. So in my plugin options for component, and the only difference between the setup option and the component add member would be the material color. So this is where you set your material color. If I want to change that for a case-by-case basis, you would just want to edit that material.